What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Fam Sports Vikings. Colton Hall and Devin Wagner here. Devin, so good to have you on again to talk about the Minnesota Vikings, my man.
Hey, brother, good to be here. Very excited for the upcoming season. Very excited to go over the schedule with you, bro.
Yes, we have got a lot of things going on for Fam Sports Vikings, but today we are here, like Devin said, to give our record predictions and our thoughts on the schedule. I will say that I do think that some of this does have to do with we have to look at our division because I don't think the Lions are winning it. I'm sorry. I'm going to be very, very honest there. No, they're
Let
not.
them know, Colton.
Let them know. And so then the other part of this too is like I'm gonna be bold, and I actually have some respect for the Bears. Now I know that that probably will shock some people, but I will go into it here. So let's go through the schedule here and really just go things. Do we want to do preseason too, or what are we thinking?
I'm thinking we go regular season. Just, we're gonna have to get our feet under us here, bro.
Agreed, agreed, agreed. Okay, so let's go with the Bears Monday Night Football prime time, September 8th, 6:15 is
So
kickoff here
excited.
in Mountain Time. What is your prediction, my man?
I think we're winning it, hands down, no doubt about it, bro. All the work we did in the offseason, what we did to them last season, I think that's a W for the Vikings.
I so Bears on Monday night. I do also think this one is a W, but I do think that it gets tougher from here in terms of like playing the Bears a little bit later on in the season. So I do think that they do win this first one. I hope at least. But at the same time, like I'm a little iffy about the Bears. I'll be honest. Week two at the line, excuse me, against the Falcons. Kirk Cousins revenge game. I love it. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think that's another dub for us. Again, what we did last year, the kind of mess that they got going on, in the QB room and everything else. Hey, everyone's got their struggles. Lord knows we have ours, but I really think that's going to be another dub, 2-0 for the Minnesota Vikings.
2-0. Okay. I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here. I think this is a loss, but very, very close. I think that this is the kind of loss that makes you go back to the drawing board and make it kind of it pisses you off in a bit. Like it makes you go back and realize we should have beat these guys and we should be a lot better. So I'm going to go with a loss here for the Falcons. It's 1-1, but I do think that they bounce back against the Bengals the week after that.
Hey,
I think that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, it's going to be the LSU battles all over the place. Jamar Chase,
absolutely.
Jefferson, obviously Joe Burrow in there as well. But I do think that they take down the Bengals, kind of that revenge from what was it a couple years ago, like Zimmer's last year, I think it was. So I think they
Oh
take.
gosh.
What do you think?
I agree. I agree. And that's 3-0 for me. Kind of crazy you got us losing against the Falcons, bro. That's sacrilege. How dare you?
I get that, and I really do. But my biggest thing with it is too is like I just this is we've had the Falcons numbers for a while now, and I mean
Mm.
this time I think they beat us was like 2011. It's been a while, and I got a feeling that Michael Penix is going to come in and play well to start the
Okay.
season, but then I think that defenses will unfortunately catch on to his play style and definitely hone in on things after that.
That's the thing. That's the thing I think we really need to factor that in is going to be the play of our defense, man, because I really think we're going to shock some people on that side of the ball this year.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I think that now when we go play the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, can we ever are we ever gonna get rid of this guy? Like I just want it to be done. I want him to retire. I want him to go into his
Yeah.
and smoke mushrooms, whatever he's gonna do. I
Mhm.
don't care. I'm so done with this guy. What do you think?
With a shaman in the forest, right? Yeah, no, I'm pretty sick of old Aaron Rodgers. You know, I do kind of want to see him make that last little run before he retires because I think he does deserve it. But also at the same time, boo, Packers, boo, you played there, boo.
Yeah.
But I think that's another dub for us. I think we got the Steelers in the bag as well.
Yep.
Kind of bias over here, but I really do think that we'll get that one as well.
Okay. I have them winning against the Steelers as well. I just feel like I know that they got a lot of weapons. They got Jalen Ramsey. They
Mhm.
drafted DK Metcalf in the offseason as well. They've done quite a bit. I think that from what we've seen with Aaron Rodgers, even when he is able to assemble the Avengers per se,
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to mesh on the field. And so
Right.
I do think that the we do start out 3-1 here. Now we go to the Browns. Old Kevin Stefanski, the boy wonder offensive play caller before we got in Mr. Former Coach of the Year in Kevin O'Connell. Kevin Stefanski in the Browns, what do you think?
Yeah, the clash of coaches here. I think we got the Browns as well. They've also kind of got a mess going on over there in their quarterback room, and I don't think that they'll have enough, um, at least not as much preparation as we've had in the offseason. So I think we got a dub there as well.
I agree. I think the schedule opposite of like these couple of games here, the Bengals will be tough. I don't think the Steelers will be a walk in the park. The Browns,
Hmm.
I would argue that would probably be one of our easier games, going into the season and everything. But I do think that the Vikings, yes, do start out 4-1 here, and they get a win against the Browns. Now, that being said, here we go, baby. Eagles.
Yep.
This
This
game,
is where it starts.
I'm gonna say it here. I think they lose this one, but in the year 2000, I think it was the Bucks who ended up winning the Super Bowl that year with Warren Sapp.
Right.
There was a time where Gruden looked Warren Sapp in the eye and said, "I got him. I know they're blitzes. I know it's Warren Sapp's like, you better get him, homie." Like that's
Right.
so mad about losing to the Eagles. I think this is that type of game for the Vikings,
Hmm.
where it is we are tied. Like we lose to the Eagles, but that is the straw that breaks the camel's back and
I think so too.
into a Super Bowl in 2025/2026. I'm hoping anyway. So, what do you think? I think.
I Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. We've got a lot of young players. They're kind of a little bit more established, in my opinion. Anyways, obviously they were looking pretty dang good last year, right? So I think we probably lose that one, but that will be, it'll kind of light a fire underneath us, and I think that that'll kick us into gear for the later games. People are talking about how we have a tough schedule starting off. I don't really think that we do. Like I said, I kind of disagree with you on the one you said we'd lose. I think we do good in that section, and then once we hit this, maybe we reach kind of a little bit of a rough patch. So that's what I think will happen.
Yeah.
But there's always a time to bounce back.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that is I think that's kind of something we can agree on, is especially this little stretch here. Now, then we've got the Chargers. Now, the Chargers to me are an interesting team because let's face it, Harbaugh has this team playing very well last year. I mean, you
Hmm.
talk about the one factor is how is Justin Herbert going to play, and will Quentin Johnson
Hmm.
actually get to pass? Now, I say that to be a little bit facetious, but at the same time, I think we beat the Chargers. I do. I think that we shut
Okay.
down Greenhampton. I think that we get after Justin Herbert and we kind of right the ship here that was wronged against us a couple of years
Hmm.
ago when we played the Chargers.
Yeah. I agree. I also have us winning that game. Like I said, I think we bounce back from that L we take from the Eagles, the little bit more experienced team, and I think we kind of pull together in every aspect after that.
Lions, my man, Lions. So they do not have Ben Johnson. They don't have Isaiah
Hmm.
Bader.
Yep.
So and Aaron Glenn, excuse me, that was the name I was blanking
Hmm.
on. They don't have
Yeah,
Aaron.
lost two of them there. Yep.
And so this is going to be really interesting because this will show us how good of a coach that Dan Campbell actually is. I think he's a great rah-rah guy, and I think that they
Hmm.
gravitate towards him. They're going to bite some kneecaps. They're going to play their hearts out for you. But
Hmm.
from an X's and O's standpoint, I just question his actual ability to lead a team. So
Okay.
I do think that the Vikings, despite saying that, do lose this game. But I do think
Okay.
in the later in the season, those are the two games. This is the Lions game again, and then it's the Eagles when we see them in the playoffs. That's right. I said it. I said it. And I think that they do lose this particular game, but then
Right.
later in the season. Your thoughts?
You can see that. I could definitely see that. Although I do think that we beat them. I think, everything that we just talked about, those factors do come in play. Hutchinson is coming back though, right? He's going to make a huge impact. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I think that we got them the first game against the Lions. Yeah, and KFC is way better than Dan Campbell.
No
The
question.
God, the GOAT.
Dude, no question. I think that a lot of people might think that, oh, well, kind of looking how these two coaches kind of coach. Obviously, I really think that Kevin O'Connell is so good at speaking to players and just kind of that
Mhm.
relationship that I know Dan Campbell's
Yeah,
relationships, but it just feels different with a guy like
it
KOC.
does.
Um,
Yeah, he's a little bit softer, KOC. I think Dan Campbell's a little bit more rough around the edges. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think just the way that KOC communicates with his players and stuff, it just really makes them want to be liked by him, if that makes sense.
absolutely.
But yeah, them losing their two coordinators, I mean, that's not going to not make a difference. You know what I mean?
Yep,
And
absolutely.
we've been going strong. We still have all of our guys. I mean, basically a super group of a coaching staff.
Yep.
in the Minnesota Vikings. So I really think that's going to come into play there against the Lions.
Absolutely. Okay, so after the Lions, we got the Ravens. I'm going against the grain here. I think
Hmm.
we beat the Ravens. I think that because
Okay.
historically, if you look at how Brian Flores' defense has played Lamar Jackson, they're
Hmm.
actually very good. They
They
contain
are.
him well. They contain him well. They play great defense in terms of coverage, and I think that despite the fact of how good Lamar Jackson and Henry and all those guys are, I think we contain him enough, and I think that JJ McCarthy does enough for us to eke out a win here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I disagree. I think we might lose this one.
Okay.
I think we might lose this one. Although I do think the defense is going to have a massive year. I think this is going to be, what did I say? This is going to be our second loss, right?
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I think that this is going to be a loss against the Ravens. You know, they're just kind of they're showtime when it counts. You know, sometimes they're not, but they are kind of a little bit more established than us. You know, us having a first year, basically a first year QB in JJ McCarthy. But I think he's going to surprise people at the same time. So I think this will be our second loss, and we bounce back after this and do really well for the later half of the season.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that following week against the Bears?
Bears, I think another dub. Sweep them.
You think
Get
it's
them out of here.
you think this is my thing. I think this is a loss. Now hear me out.
I don't
I
think they're as good as people say, Colton. I really don't. I mean, do
I
you see the footage coming out of training camp? He looks,
but
and you
that's
know who I'm
training
talking
camp.
about.
That's
I
training camp.
know.
And the thing about it is JJ McCarthy hasn't looked amazing. Like he's looked good. Don't get me wrong. He
I
has
think he
looked
looks better than Caleb does. I think he looks better than Caleb.
I mean, but again, I think that that is one of those things where he has more of comfortability with KOC because he's been there for a
Sure.
year.
Mm,
Caleb is learning how to get his ass chewed a little bit.
yeah.
And
They don't
so,
seem like they're getting along super well over there.
and so I think that this is a thing for Caleb where he's kind of realizing where he's going to play. I got a feeling that
Yeah.
might take the Bears a couple years, but I do think they will be good with Johnson and with Caleb Williams. But we'll see. Overall, I do
Mhm.
think that the Bears eke out a win here just because some lackadaisical stuff for the Vikes, whatever it is. We always have one of those games every year where it's just like we don't show up, or what what have you, whatever it is. I think the Bears
Mhm.
got a win here. The Vikings do start out the season. I've got them at 4, 5, 6, and 4, I believe, to start out the year. So not great, but
Okay.
also not as bad as it could be. I got them at 6 and 4. That following week against the Packers, I got them taking down the Cheeseheads there to really start things out there. So I have them winning that game to go ahead and start out 7 and 4. Your thoughts?
Packers, the Wisconsin Packers over there. Yeah, I think we'll win that game, Colton. Next question.
Okay, awesome. Well, okay. So the Seahawks, the Sam Darnold revenge game.
Oh, this one's going to be really exciting, dude. I'm really, really excited to see what Sam does over there. Like I tell people, I hope he wins in every single game that isn't against the Vikings. That being said, though, dude, I think that we've got him in the bag. I know he's got a couple of weapons over there. He's got Cooper Kupp, who's a really good player, and he's definitely going to be making a difference in that game. But like I said, our defense, I think after those two losses, after we, finish getting our butts whooped by the Ravens and by, the former champions, the
Eagle.
Eagles over there in Philadelphia, I think we're gonna start just be lit on fire and just go crazy. So I think we got a dub on that one. What do you think, bro?
I think we do take down Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. I think this is one of those games where Sam Darnold, we've seen it time and time again, and this is a little bit later in the season where I hate to say it about the guy because I mean I think the world of him from last year and all that stuff, but
Mhm.
when the moment is big, there are quarterbacks that you know will rise to the occasion, and there's others you have no idea. No
Yep.
idea. And with Sam Darnold, I think that he does, unfortunately, this late in the season. I think that even though this technically isn't like the end of the season where you would see him crumble, I do think that
Right.
the Vikings defense does swarm him early and often, and we get after that man. So I
Uh-huh.
think that is a dub for our Minnesota Vikings.
I feel like nerves will also play a huge factor in that. Like we just said, big games for Sam. We saw it. We all saw it last year. I think he's going to be more of the same, holding onto the ball too much, throwing interceptions kind of deal, won't get rid of the ball. I think that Flo's defense is just going to absolutely suffocate these guys. I really do.
Yep, I agree. Commanders the week after that. This is actually going to be a really good game because I love me some Jaden Daniels.
So
I
too.
think this defense is very underrated. Now, yes, I know we've got
Yep.
Jonathan Allen, the Jonathan Allen revenge game. But I do think that
Oh
overall there's
yeah.
going to be a lot to watch in this game. To me, the question is going to be who's going to run the football. Because you look at what happened to the Commanders in the NFC title game last year against the Eagles, they couldn't stop the run. That's going to be their big question mark heading into this year. If they can stop us and make JJ McCarthy beat you with his arm, I think that is going to be their goal. Now, do I think JJ McCarthy can beat him? Yes, I do think that. But for this one, I think that we go out, we take care of business, we take down the Commanders, and we get ourselves on a little roll here. Get our roll on a 3-game winning streak before we head into the Cowboys. Your thoughts?
I hope you're right, Colton. I just don't think that we can do it. Like we said, the defense there is too good. You know, the second year player in Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's a hell of a quarterback. So
That's true.
I hope we win. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that it will be our third loss in the season against them. The secondary, I worry that that might be a little bit of a trouble spot for old JJ McCarthy. So I think that'll be loss number 3 on that one.
Okay. The Dallas Cowboys. Brother, if we don't agree on this one, I do not know what to tell you. I think this one's a win. I think that Michael Parsons will probably be traded. I actually just made a video about how he should be traded to the Commanders. That would be
Yeah,
that would be very.
that would be cool. Isn't it weird how they were so public about that? They're just like, yeah, we're gonna probably trade him.
Yeah, I'm just like, is this what we're doing right now? Like, is this what?
It's crazy.
All right, I guess.
We would never do that. We would never.
No, we would never. Oh, Daniil, come back. But overall,
Right.
I think that you play the Cowboys where
Mhm.
I don't think that they have a soul. I don't think that they have an identity. I think that they're on their heels in this one, and I think that out of all the years where like people to hate on the Cowboys, this would be the biggest year in my mind, just because like
Yeah.
so listless. They're so like I don't think the Cowboys are really going to do anything this year. I mean, they're in a division with the Eagles and the Commanders, so I think that we take down the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I think we blow them out. Huge dub.
And now the Giants. If, and that's a big if, Brian Daboll is not fired at this point.
Could be.
If he's not fired by week 2, something happened.
Yeah.
Because I think that he's obviously very on a short straw. Jackson Dart will be starting by now, and by my recollection, either be actually playing admirably or throwing all of his passes to Malik Neighbors. So we'll see how this goes. But I think that we get a win here. I think that the Giants. I mean, maybe AVG goes on, gets another pick 6 or 2.
Would be sweet.
That would be awesome, and I think that we escape with a win over the Giants as well.
Yeah, totally agree. I love the way he intercepts the ball, especially in that spot on the field, like the hardest place to grab that ball, like literally in the middle of a pass. You know what I mean? He's snatching it out of the air. So crazy how he does that so frequently. Yeah, agreed. Big dub. I think we blow these guys out as well.
Absolutely. Okay, Lions. You want to talk about revenge, and I know I'm mispronouncing that because that is from Megamind.
Sounds cooler.
It does. If you want to talk about revenge, this is the game to do it. Albeit a playoff game against the Lions, where if we lose this game and go and beat them in the playoffs, it would be another me a video of me laughing at Lions fans for another time. But
Another 10K or another 10K view.
Just, me showering in Lions fans' tears. That would be ideal. Now, that being said, I think that the Lions are a team that are going to get got this year. I think that we potentially lose to them the first time around, and then we come back and we set the record straight the second time around. We beat the Lions, and we head into we head into the last game of the season looking pretty good. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Lions game?
I do agree that we beat them, but I disagree that we were going to lose them before. I think we sweep them. I think we sweep the Bears, and I think we sweep the Packers hard, full stop.
Man, you think? Okay. My thing is
I'm not sure about the rest, but I am sure about those 3 teams. I know we're better. Look at what happened last year. We're better.
I've got us going 12-5, at least being anywhere from a first to second seed, and so somewhere in there. This defense to me, like if everybody stays healthy, everything goes according to plan. Like the whole goal is don't let up 21 points, score 21 points on offense, and we're going to win the game. And I think that's ultimately what it's going to come down to because our defensive line is going to maul people. Our linebackers are going to flow sideline to sideline, and our corners are just not going to get beat deep. That's the cut and dry of it.
Absolutely.
And I think that for JJ McCarthy, the idea is just don't suck. Don't turn the ball over. Hand the ball off to Aaron Jones. Hit a couple of passes in sync with JJ as well as Addison and Hawk. Don't take dumb sacks, and I think we're in a good spot.
Absolutely. I think Hawk's going to have a crazy year this year. I really do. Him bouncing back from the from the injury, playing that first half of the season, I think he's going to make a huge difference. I've been seeing videos from camp of him and JJ. They look electric together. So I think he's going to have a huge impact with him. I think this is our Super Bowl window, man. I really do. I think that, and the sentiment being, with a lot of people, that if JJ just plays, average quarterback play, that's kind of all we need from him. Every other piece is built so that we can do huge things. I really think that this is our Super Bowl window. So
what about the Packers game, final game of the season? You think that's a win? Oh yeah, that's right.
Sweep, yeah.
Sweep.
Yeah.
I just
full stop. I said, Colton. I said full stop.
You did. That's my fault. My fault. I think overall, I do think that there's going to be teams that do pose a lot of problems. It is the Vikings too, so I never get my hopes up. So I do think that overall, like we had talked about, the defense is going to get after it, run the ball. Jordan Mason's going to have himself a good year as well. Jordan Addison's going to miss 3 games as we saw earlier today. But overall, I do think that this team is, like you said, like this is the time to do it. When we talk about, I almost picture in my head like the miracle speech, like their time is done. And
we need a hype video with that whole speech, and then just like a montage of our players just like all serious in the locker room.
Yeah, just put their heads on top of everybody, where it's just like
exactly.
JJ on top of the goalie. Like JJ would be a goalie. I'm just saying. I'm putting that out there. But I do think that this will. It is the moment where we just sit there. Their time is done, and it's just like,
yep,
let's go. And if we lose, I'm okay with losing. I will admit it took me 6 months to get over the playoff loss to the Rams. Yeah. I was shouting in my pillow for most of those nights. You can ask my wife, but it's over. It's a new season, and in the famous words of Michael Scott, I am ready to get hurt again.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I absolutely. I really do think we could do huge things, and I definitely don't think about those games from last year still in bed. So whatever.
That's okay, man. We got a support group. Hi.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a Vikings fan. Hi, Colton. But
we can get you some help, bro. We can get you some help.
Man, no, I appreciate you for everything and coming on, and you've been doing awesome with videos. Like we said,
thank you, sir.
Make sure you guys are giving Devin his credit as we get here and get more content out to you guys for Fam Sports Vikings. Anything else you'd like to cover before we head out?
That's really all I got for now. I think it's going to be a really exciting season. I am obviously super biased, but I really think, with all the things we did last year, and like we said, if JJ just kind of does his thing, he's going to throw some picks, guys. He's going to make some mistakes here. But I really do think this is our Super Bowl window. I think this is the greatest time ever to be a Vikings fan at the start of the JJ McCarthy era, bro. Really, really awesome to be here on the channel, bro. Thank you for having me. You're the best.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, man. Well, thank you guys so much. Like we said, like and subscribe down for more Vikings exclusive content. And we'll see you on the next video.